Yeah, Miley Cyrus, you can't be tamed. It's 9:31. You're listening to 4AUR 101.5 FM. It's the Morning Magazine. We are looking at Division 4 of the Moreton Bay Regional Council as we approach the election on April the 28th. That's when you have your democratic right to set the direction of the council and decide who's going to represent you. We have Dean Teasdale in the studio. Just before we went to a break, we touched on Dean Teasdale brought up the subject of water. Unity Water made an announcement this morning exclusively on 101.5 FM, the 4AUR. Did you hear that, Dean?
Yeah, I did, Andrew. I heard it listening to the radio attentively during this campaign period for information on the local government elections, and I heard that announcement from Unity Water.
What are your thoughts?
Look, I think it's odd. Look, first of all, good work for listening to the community and taking action to really do something about those cost of living pressures for the residents of the Moreton Bay region. Perhaps a long time coming. I'm not quite sure how Unity Water's come to that conclusion. We didn't get much transparency on that this morning, but everything is just at odds with what's coming out of Unity Water at the moment. At one point in time, we're getting told that they're undercharging, and then we're getting told that they're going to put their charges on hold for the next 12 months. Look, I think the real issue here is this, that even though I'm a Liberal by a political or ideological perspective, and I'm a small business person, even I understand that you do not drive this basic delivery of services to a purely profit motive driven organisation and enterprise. You take water and you turn it into this money making machine. You set up this board and they're on their huge salaries, and you take this organisation and you turn it into a profit making venture.
So with that in mind, what's your view on Unity Water? Should it have a future or should it be taken back under council? The LNP made some pretty clear promises in relation to that.
Yeah, well, I'm not here to put forward the LNP position. They've made that quite clear, and they're the ones that have the real decision making to make here. And I think that from a community's perspective, we want to see council back in control of this basic delivery of the water service and the sewerage services. That's where the control should lie. We all know that the Moreton Bay Regional Council didn't appoint anyone to the board when they had that opportunity. We all know the Moreton Bay Regional Council is the majority shareholder in Unity Water, and yet doesn't have any control over what's going on in that organisation, apparently. But we're hearing this morning that they're listening to the council, they're listening to the community, and they're going to cap rates and water charges. I say fantastic news for the local community. Are water rates and access charges still too high? I'd probably say yes. The state government, the Labor state government, took water and they turned it into a money-making venture. Now, great that those dividends were coming back to council, but council was still, in that terms, operating very effectively under CAB Water and under the other different bodies as well. We're hearing Mr. Black say this morning that, look, that's probably one of the greatest challenges for Unity Water is trying to unify all these disparate sets of infrastructure across the region. Well, why not give it back to the local government to look after it, the ones that put the infrastructure there to begin with? And I think that's achievable. I think that's what the community's asking us to do, not just to address the cost of living pressure for the next 12 months, but for into the future and longer term, so that we ensure that the water's actually delivering what it should be for the residents.
Dean Teasdale, if you're elected on April 28, what are the practical things that you would do in relation to water? Would you fight for it to be returned to council? What would you actually do?
Look, there's a lot of work to be done between now and Saturday the 28th, and a lot of voters to talk to and to listen to. Again, the decision's going to lie with the state government. I think the state government has made it quite clear that they're going to look at this issue and they're going to give the councils the opportunity to have control back of water. So I'll support whatever measure we can to do something real and effective, not for just the next 12 months, but in the longer term, to ensure that we get the pricing regime under control of council. That's where it needs to be.
You just mentioned talking with local residents. What's the feedback you've been getting from them with your engagement during this campaign? What are the issues that you need to address, in your opinion?
Look, the issues are varied. As I said before, it's a diverse division, and the issues are different for each resident, and it's important to give them the opportunity to have their say and to listen to them and to take on board that issue. I've got a list of priorities, and it's a growing list of priorities now that I've said to various residents that I'll get back to them within some immediate point in time about where the issues lie, where they're up to, and what council can do about them. But I think water's been a big issue, cost of living's been a big issue. issue. The roads, about 1,100 kilometres of roads out there. I mean, you can't drive around parts of Division 4 without having to swerve for roads and potholes, and then we've had all this inclement weather and wet weather, and, you know, it's a dangerous situation.
So if you get elected, can you fix those things?
Definitely we can do one thing, Andrew, and I'm happy to drill down on the detail of some of the issues, but a lot we're talking about here is the focus of the council. It's the global issues. It's about what this council has been about over the last 4 years and what it has the opportunity to be about over the next 4 years. And it needs to be a council that's focused on the community and putting the community first, on delivering basic services to the residents, and that's where council's priority needs to be. So the detail is there in every issue, but it always comes back down to a few common threads of what's going on, and that's putting the community first in the decision-making processes and understanding the council is there to deliver services to the ratepayers and to the residents. That's its first priority. Let's get that part right, and then let's focus on some of these bigger capital works projects and delivering the big shiny things that we all want in our community and we all enjoy in our community, but we need roads so that we can get there. We need water that we can afford to turn the tap on and not have to worry about the bill coming in and when the bill's going to come in and what's going to go on. So they're the real issues. I hear a lot of things, but I think they all come back down to a direction, some leadership, and a real focus for the council.
I've just had a note handed to me, and it's from a disgruntled listener, so I'll read it out and I'll try and emphasise the correct words. Julie Greer has failed to show up to meet the candidates, failed to show up for today's radio interview. Is she that confident that she will win the election, or has she laid down her hand? To not show up is telling the people that she does not care that they made the effort to come out and to come either support her or gain her support. No wonder our children do not know how to respect others when our so-called leaders do not show respect themselves. Is Julie taking her guidance from Mayor Sutherland, as he has also failed to show up to meet the candidates' meetings as well? Has he been invited to speak on the radio? Will he show up? And there's a question to you, Mr. Teasdale. How does this affect your campaign? Do you feel that this is a one-horse race? So, first of all, I'll just address a couple of things before I throw it over to you, Dean Teasdale. Alan Sutherland, I have been made aware that he has not been to a number of Meet the Candidates. Just want to point out that he did make it to the Bribie Island Meet the Candidates there, that Rhonda Kokonos and the local Chamber of Commerce put on. As far as the radio station is concerned, it has put an invitation out to all of the candidates in the divisions that it's looking at, as well as all of the mayoral candidates. That's absolutely happened. It's up to those candidates whether they decide to take up the offer or not. Dean Teasdale, over to you.
Okay, so I think what we're talking about is the expectation that we have of our local representatives here. And look, we have an expectation that they'll front up, they'll attend these community forums, that they'll take, I'll take every opportunity I can to put forward issues on behalf of the local community. And let's get some discussion, let's get some debate happening so we can get on with the job of delivering a better Moreton Bay Regional Council. I'm not going to err on the side of a personal attack on anybody. Look, it's not about that. It's about me getting out there, putting forward what my vision is for the region, about how I'll be accessible, how I'll be accountable.
But just talking about accessibility, are you prepared to put it on the record now that should you be elected, you will be just as accessible to the likes of the media, this radio station, as you are now leading up to the election, not just while you're in campaign mode?
Exactly right. You know, you're the voice of the community. I mean, that's what you're doing. There's 20,000 people, 20,000 voters in that division, and you're there to advocate on behalf of their issues. And I'll take every opportunity I can to say we've got to do something about water, we've got to fix the roads, we've got to get council focused back on the community. That's what I'm out here to do, to deliver that message and to say to people on the Saturday, the 28th of April, it might not appear that they have a clear choice because my opponent's not here, but the choice is clear. Do you want another 4 years of what we've had, of Mayor Sutherland and Julie Greer for Division 4, or do you want to face the up to the alternative and take the council in a different direction, bring it back to the people and deliver some real results for the community?
Do you have any mayoral candidate in mind that you'd like to see get up, that you'd like to work with?
Yeah, look, I'm in the position that most people aren't, because I'm attending many of the community forums and I'm sitting down having discussions with the mayoral candidates and so on. Look, To answer the question as well, at the doorsteps, I'm not getting the question. The question I'm getting is this: is who am I going to vote for mayor?
Yeah.
I'm not getting the mayor is Alan Sutherland, and we're really considering giving him our vote. I'm getting who should I vote for mayor? That's the challenge.
So they're actually seeking guidance from you.
They always. It's a fairly normal thing to have happen. Where people are going to support.
Well, even better. What's your answer?
My answer is this: is that I think there's some really good candidates out there that have put their hand up, and anybody that's prepared to stand up and represent their community deserves that level of respect. And good on each one of those candidates. They each have something to bring to the role of mayor. Some of them have a niche in water or planning or this or whatever else. It's no secret that I have had discussions with Chris Whiting. Look, he's on the other side of the political divide to me. He's a member of the Labor Party. Member of the Labor Party. He makes no bones about that. He's been a councillor of 12 years' experience. In terms of what this region needs over the next 4 years, we need a mayor that knows what it's all about. We need a mayor that can get in there and get the job done. I have no hesitation in saying that Chris Whiting, as a councillor, has been a councillor that has put the community first. He's been at odds with this council. And you know why he's been at odds with this council? Because he's voted in terms of what's been best for his community. He hasn't been caught up in this Morton First faction that's been going on in council. He's actually stood up for his community, and he deserves all the kudos in the world for doing that. I'll only have one vote on Saturday the 28th of April like anybody else, but I've had the opportunity to sit down with these mayoral candidates and discuss the issues, and I'll be happy to support Chris Whiting on Saturday the 28th of April because I know that he'll do a good job for me. He'll do a good job in terms of what my family and what my business needs and for the whole community. So I'm happy to give you that answer very plainly and simply.
So that's really quite an endorsement for somebody that's quite conservative to be giving that out to somebody that's quite Labor left.
I disagree with that.
Yeah,
I disagree with that. I'd say that as a councillor, Chris has proven that he's stood up for his community. In all seriousness, and I've been quite plain with your listeners this morning on this issue, that party politics plays no role in local government. It's not effective to play a role in local government. Party politics is about a much broader scheme of things. Just very quickly, federal government delivers the money for projects, state government does a bit on the ground, and the councils do a lot of delivering on the ground of what's happening on the ground. So you need a direction and you need a policy focus, but that focus is very simply, are you out for yourself and creating opportunities for yourself and your niche group of supporters, or you're out for the community and delivering something for the community? That's the direction I'm heading in, putting the community first, and I'm sure out of the mayoral candidates there that he'll deliver that. So you've got to have someone that you're going to vote for on the day, and I'm absolutely confident that Chris Whiting will do a great job as Mayor of Moreton Bay.
Dean Teasdale, to summarise, why should people vote for you over your opponent?
It'll be a clear choice, as I said before. It's a choice of whether you want more of the same for the next 4 years, higher rates, water's out of control, roads aren't getting fixed, basic services aren't getting delivered, or you'll make your vote for someone who's prepared to stand up for the community. And on all the issues, I'll stand up for the community. I'll put the community first, and I'll make sure that we deliver some real positive outcomes for the local area. I think you can hear from my passion and my enthusiasm and my motivation this morning is that I want to get on with the job of being the best councillor I can for Division 4. I'm still idealistic enough in this political realm of things to say we can do much better than we've had over the last 4 years.
You want to be the best councillor you can for Division 4. When you get to the end of that 4 years and you put your hand up again for election, what will you consider to be a measurement of your success?
Andrew, being able to front up to radio interviews, being able to front community forums.
So if you're not successful,
being able to walk out down the street in the community and actually address people and listen to their needs and concerns, being able to do that consistently. And I apologise for making that remark, but realistically, you've got to stand on your reputation and what you've actually done and achieved in your term of local government, but you've got to set out with the right values and the right ideals to begin with. I'm supporting Chris Whiting, as I've just said, with my vote because I know that his focus is on the community. I'm not propping him up. I know he'll do a good job in his own right as a mayor. Now, the questions have come about who the current incumbent councillor has been supporting over this last term of council, because it hasn't been the residents of Division 4. It hasn't been to put that area, that community first. So being able to deliver for the community, maintaining and gaining their respect, in myself knowing that I've done a good job for the community. That'll be the ultimate measure.
Dean Teasdale, finally, if people want to know more about you between now and April the 28th, how do they best get in contact with you?
I've made it easy. If you're that way inclined to jump on the internet, you can go to www.division4, so that's division with the number 4.com.au. You'll find all my contact details there and be able to send me messages, and I'm receiving lots of them, so do that. I'll be out door knocking still and at various other community forums. I really do welcome the community's input. Let me know what the issues are. Give me the opportunity to have my say, and let's come up with a plan to address your concerns.
You are listening to 4UR 101.5 FM. It's the morning magazine. That is a detailed look at Division 4 with Dean Teasdale. You may have a view on that. Feel free to give us a call on 54951015 or the website www.1015fm.com.au. You can also drop us an email. That's radio@1015fm.com.au. Plenty more coming up in the morning magazine. We're at about just under 15 minutes to the top of the hour. We will be having a chat about Anzac Day straight after this break, and then it's into the locally produced news. The second hour we will take a look at a mayoral candidate, as we have been, and that's Ivan Hall. So if you have any questions, again, I gave you all those contact details. Feel free to use them.